studying abroad. You've got the language, you've got the scenery, you've got the teaching, but besides that obvious excitement, why is it worth doing? Today in this video, I'm going to be sharing my top 5 reasons why I think that you should do a study abroad for medicine. If this is the first video of mine that you're seeing, hello, my name is Alessia and I'm a 4th year medical student from the UK who is currently doing a study abroad in Italy. So I've been here for about a month already, and already in this time, these are the benefits that I've experienced. So, number 1, this is of course pretty clear, but that is the one of language skills. Now this truly opens doors. Studying in a foreign language can not only increase your proficiency in the language, but also when you're applying for jobs one day, it's going to be that gives you a slightly more competitive edge and make you a globally adaptable healthcare professional. One day when you're sat in that interview room, an employer is going to recognise that not only can they trust you with foreign communication, but they'll be able to recognise also the transferable skills that knowing a language does in truth give you. And that doesn't mean that you need to be 100% fluent. Even just being partially bilingual really does demonstrate to people that you are a dedicated and a very flexible learner. Now, of course, you're going to be encouraged to learn at least some of the language before you get here, but most of the host universities organise language lessons. When you combine that with conversations with your friends and patients and staff, you're going to come back hugely more proficient than you even believed possible. Now, the second one is the diverse learning experience. So for this, I'm going to give you just a brief example. So I heard about an MBA study where they recruited 5 French students and 5 German students. Now, these students each studied very similar courses and objectively had very, very similar knowledge levels. Now, they gave these 2 groups of students some sugar cubes. They gave 500 to the French students and 500 to the German students. Now, even though these 2 countries are geographically very close and similar in quite a few respects, the aim of the study was to try and investigate how differently they would approach the problem. So the stopwatch was started and 10 minutes were put on the clock. The aim of the experiment was to see which of these 2 groups of students would build the tallest tower. So what was interesting was that the method that came instinctively to each of these groups was completely different. Now, the French students got to work straight away. They elected one of their teammates as a leader, and the leader would pass out instructions to the rest of the group who would start to build the tower. The German students, on the other hand, spent the first 3 minutes of the time planning how they would build the tower, and then they would all build the tower together when those 3 minutes were up. With these 2 methods, the 2 groups had very different techniques to build their tower. But what is the importance of this experiment? What does it actually tell us? Well, the discussion at the end of the study was trying to show the impact that potentially culture can have on approaching the same problem in different ways. It's through learning the methods of others and understanding their reasoning for doing each thing that can help us too to improve our own daily practices. Now, let's go back to medicine. Studying abroad allows you to be immersed in a different educational system. Here you're going to gain exposure to different learning techniques that might not actually be used in your own home country. When you couple that with the different cultural backgrounds of both students and faculty, you're going to be giving yourself a much more holistic education. Outside of your lessons, even of course medical practice is going to be different from one country compared to another. To show this to you, I'm going to tell you a quick story about when I was still on placement in the GP in the UK. So a lady came into the practice and she came in with a humongous set of medical notes. So she explained to us that some of them were from the UK and some of them were from Spain, since she split her year between the 2 countries. You could see in some of these notes that some tests were ordered in Spain that wouldn't have been ordered in the UK and vice versa. But it's recognising, investigating and really understanding the reasons why one thing was ordered and not another is what allows us to combine this management. Because the worst thing you can do is try and think of healthcare as almost like a binary concept. It's either following one way or another way, and there's no way of meshing the 2 together. But really, that's not how life works, the human body works, medical system in general works. So allowing ourselves to be more flexible with having different points of view and understanding the reasonings for each one is what's going to give us better outcomes for our patients going ahead in time. Now, this next one's a great one. The next one is number 3, which is networking opportunities. Let's say you've considered studying abroad. Maybe you've thought about the language, let's be honest. Maybe you've even thought about the different education system. But what's really going to matter is what makes your human experience complete. Throughout this time, you're gonna make so many new friends. Now, these are gonna be friends who don't look like you. They don't come from the places you do. They have completely different views on life to you. It's really a time to be asked quite a lot of personal questions. I think this is amazing because it gives you such a great opportunity to reflect on your own opinions and formulate them in a very clear way. It gives you time to focus on your why. But more importantly, it allows you to have time to discuss it with so many different people and evolve that mindset. Expand your understanding of why things are the way they are. So for me, it's those international connections with both fellow students and professionals that makes this time completely unbeatable. For those who are in medicine with you, these connections can open the door in the future for future collaborations, which will bring me on to number 4, which is research and clinical opportunities. The requirements and the recommendations for training are, let's be honest, completely ever-changing, but the role of research and observerships are pretty well cemented. The nice thing about being abroad is that some countries will offer unique opportunities that might actually not be readily available in your own home country. If COVID gave us anything positive, is that when you return, lots of these meetings can be continued online, so that even though you're not physically there, your presence will be. When you're there, what really counts is cementing those relationships and showing your dedication throughout. Okay, and number 5. Now, number 5 is truly the best for last, and that is cultural immersion. Living in a different country can really be a transformative experience, and I really don't say that lightly. I've seen that it's really not just about all the knowledge that you acquire, but all of that experiential learning that happens both consciously and unconsciously every single day. Being abroad means loving abroad, and I mean the food, the culture, the people. Evaluating the lives of people from day to day is what makes us all more open-minded and adaptable people, especially as a doctor. Every single day you're going to be encountering people from beautifully varied cultural backgrounds, and learning from these different cultures as early on as possible allows us to become a little bit more aware of what matters to each person, but more importantly, why. Why does this particular patient feel the need to have to discuss it not just with their immediate family but their extended family first? Why doesn't this patient feel they need to ask me any further questions? Why are they very adverse to pharmaceuticals, and why are they interested in a lot more in dietary changes? Asking yourself these questions really broadens your mind to be a lot more attentive to those fine details, and you'll find that with time that will help you bond so much more with each patient that comes through the door. Now, I know that every single one of you watching these videos, whatever stage you are in your medical career, would hugely benefit from studying abroad. What I love most about it is it gives you an opportunity to be more comfortable with being uncomfortable. And by developing that mindset and resilience, not only will you get out more from your career, but your general life also. So if you do have any other questions, please feel free to either comment down below or contact us on any of our social media platforms. So, arrivederci da Roma, and I will see you again soon.